Policing Inquiry, Tranche 2, Phase 2. We've been listening to more of HN1. I'm joined by Claire Hildreth, who knew HN1 when he was deployed. What have you made of his evidence this afternoon?
Just more shit.
Such
shit.
Yeah.
Just,
There was one point where Emma Garchito read out what you'd said to the inquiry about the impact of his deception of you as a friend, and asked him if he wanted to respond to that, and he just said he was sorry you found out.
Yeah, and that was it. Flat. That was it. No, nothing. No emotion.
No.
Yeah, that wasn't very nice.
I'm guessing it wasn't.
It wasn't a massive surprise though.
I guess not.
No.
You know, he's been such an unlikable prick.
Yeah, I think everybody thinks that. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of him just being incredibly evasive. He claims not to remember a lot of things. Kept having to accept the possibility of for a lot of his behaviour. Yeah.
Word salading a lot.
A lot of words, a lot of overkill.
The dot.
Yeah.
It was a dot, and then just big stretching of things that, and then saying he didn't write things that are his reports, or it might have been added to later.
Yeah.
He's trying to not say very much at all.
There was one part, literally the last thing that was talked about was the extension of his deployment. So apparently he was meant to be withdrawn from the field in the February of '96, but it was extended till December, which wasn't really clear why, particularly, but other than he was on the verge of a breakthrough.
Which never happened.
Yeah,
strangely enough.
Funny that. But one of the things that happened in that is the Detective Chief Inspector Keith Edmonton visited his wife to check that she was okay with it all. And he was asked, was Edmonton aware of his deceptive sexual relationship with Liz Fuller? And he said, well, it's inconceivable that he wasn't, because he'd already told Bob Lambert about it, and Lambert would have told him. Did he mention this to your wife at all? Well, no, of course not. And then he started waxing lyrical about the strong, sturdy, pastoral support that he got from his wife. It was, it's just so offensive.
Does he not see the whole picture here of how he's coming across? And
it's so
what
strange.
Happened with Liz?
Yeah.
It's not.
It's so not.
He doesn't want to accept reality for this, the deception, portrayals, all of it. It's all about him.
It's all about him. Yeah. There's been whole sections of reports of his where it's been kind of pointed out that there was one incident where he was acted as a driver removing a dog from some situation, and it was he characterised his actions as you were involved with this. Then he tries to suggest that saving a mistreated dog was like an ALF action, and they said, well, so you were part of that ALF action then? Oh no, not at all. So I was just
good. That she was good. That was good questioning that. I thought.
Yeah, but he said no, I was like the classic getaway driver in an armed robbery.
Yeah, that's not making it sound any better.
No,
it's making it sound a lot worse.
A hell of a lot worse.
And they're not they don't when they take in a load of armed robbers to court, they don't say, oh, you were just the getaway driver. That's nothing. Off you go. That doesn't make any sense.
Really doesn't make any sense at all. And the repeated things of this. He was, there was a lot of reports then which included some sort of very lurid descriptions of there was the farmer Colin French who was mistreating animals. You can Google him. There's loads of reports of him mistreating animals back in the 90s, but him going to these protests at the farm, and he was describing in lurid detail some public order incidents that happened there, and then another report saying, there'd been no previous incidents, and it didn't
tally, did it? None of it
tallied at all.
And people were boasting about being violent, potentially, and then punching the air with. Yeah. What was a lot of nonsense that didn't make a lot of sense, and it's I never saw anything. I was just in the car. Governor.
Yeah, and again, it's highly likely that he drove away animals, but that he wasn't involved
all the time,
constantly, Yeah. But he seems to.
But he's scared of dogs.
That was really
what was all
weird.
That about? That's so untrue and nonsensical.
Yeah, he was,
especially a distressed dog. I would have been squeamish.
Yeah,
that was because it's just not true.
He said he'd never ever handled animals.
Yeah, which is. Weird.
I've seen photos of him holding dogs, large dogs on him, looking quite happy with these dogs.
Yeah.
What a weird thing to lie about.
Yeah, it's a bit strange because I've seen him carrying several dogs, not all at the same time. But,
sure.
Sort of no.
Well, there's photos of him.
He's confident. Yeah, confident. That's just, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why I would say that.
I mean,
it's like, I didn't touch those animals, so therefore I was just driving again.
Yeah,
it's
It's another one of these, like, Prince Andrew, I don't sweat sort of defences which he's deployed, where he's just overdoing it. Of what? Oh no, definitely not.
Doesn't add up though. Even really just doesn't.
And I mean, it just makes him less and less credible as a character. I mean, he's such an odious person.
Yeah, it's not coming across well.
It's coming across really, really badly. And I mean, he's been given numerous opportunities to make himself look slightly better, but he's just failed every time.
Yeah.
He seems completely, lacks any sort of self-awareness at all, I would say.
What's the thing about the grand armchair?
Oh my God! Yeah,
all that? It's like the boys' club.
Yeah. So he was asked about the internal competition between undercover officers because after his deployment was extended by a year, there was apprehension from the DCI about announcing that. And he said, "Did you have any apprehension?" He was like, "Oh no, I didn't care what they thought."
Yeah, that was interesting because I think there's definitely no love lost between him and Coles.
None at all.
You can tell that, and I think that's some of it we can't talk about what was said, but I think you could tell, and I think reading between the lines, Coles was that's what they were concerned about because he's not been so successful in the field, and then they're letting Rayner carry on for longer than anyone else did.
Yeah.
So it's like. And he did allude to, other people might have wanted to, but they weren't allowed to, but I was, because
I'm special.
So great.
I'm a special boy.
But it's almost about that. And he's like the important one and much better at it than some of them.
I mean, he talked about, the officers who sat in the grand armchair.
Yeah.
And I mean, I assumed he was using some of his flowery language again.
But there was a real armchair.
Well, maybe there was. I mean, the safe house had a pool table. It had dartboard. It
had somewhere comfortable. So there was a load of shitty chairs and one really good one.
I mean, there's 12 undercover officers. Between 10 and 12 undercover officers. There's 2 detective sergeants. There's at least one officer who's waiting to be deployed.
Yeah,
plus
right.
the detective inspector, 2 detective inspectors, and the detective chief inspector.
It's quite a big place, a whole flat,
there were houses or flats. Right, so they were having these meetings in those both one-to-ones and in a large session. So
they did a bit of space, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and a pool table and a dartboard area.
So it couldn't have been particularly small.
I know they must have been fairly spacious, and grand armchairs. I'm sure they had the budget for it. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, it's not.
No.
Not very nice to hear.
No, we're only on a short break. We'll just go back soon. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, thanks.
Thanks for joining. I'll do a video at the end, recapping the day at large, unless there's another break. We don't know how long it's going to go on today. We've been informed tomorrow is scheduled to go until 6 p.m, though this open session of today wasn't necessarily going to be that long, so maybe tomorrow we'll finish earlier. We really don't know, but that's the impression we're being given. Thanks for joining. See you all in a bit. There we go.
Yeah, they might carry on longer today, and then tomorrow can be shorter because it's the last day.
It was still online for some reason. There we go.